a lot of time with their counselors. So you as their parents and guardians need to be informed, and that's what I do. So I'm going to show you a program that we have. It's called the Life Prep Academy, and we're going to walk through it, and I'll let you know exactly how we can get you started on that. So the Life Prep Academy itself is on the website is lifeprepacademy.org. And when you come to our website, what you'll see is this page here, and it tells you a little bit about what we do on the front page. But I'll just show you that when you get started, what you do is you sign in here under students and parents, and it'll take you to the sign in page. And when you click on the sign in, it will take you to our dashboard. So the dashboard is where everything happens. I'll just let you know. So this is where you get really comfortable. You'll see this page live. This is where everything happens. On here are all of the 8 sections of our resource, our database, starting with middle school. Then the next 3 portions are for high school, the getting prepared, the journey, and also healthy living. Then we have some homework help sites that are really cool. We'll show you those. Some scholarship search engines that have scholarships for every student need. And also we have a whole, we created a second guide, because this actually came from a printed guide that we were distributing for many years. But we had a request to create a guide that was specifically focusing on what they call opportunity youth. Those are the foster, homeless, probation, immigrant, and special needs youth. And so we have a whole section on that I'll give you a chance to take a quick look at. And then we have a section on surveys. So before we get started, let me show you this here, is that we have a quick links section. So the nice thing is that these are the table of contents. So as you get comfortable with the guide, or as you're just looking for something specific, you can just scroll through the guide and click on the pages and land on anything that you need to. One thing that's very cool is that I wanted to make sure the students have the ability to take notes. So once they find something very cool, they could just go in here and take a note and click on add note, and it'll list it here at the bottom for them. They can delete the ones that they don't need anymore. So once again, we'll take you back to the dashboard. So very quickly here, I'll show you the middle school years. We'll go through this pretty quickly. I think most of your students are high school, but you may have younger students also. In here, we talk about the middle school years and how to get prepared for high school. So we talk about the transition that they're going to be going through. We talk about how important it is for parent engagement, and we'll talk about that more, what their new challenges are and new expectations, some tips and steps to help them get prepared for the new routine. We talk about study habits. We talk about that transition, because they're now going to have to go from basic middle school to having classes and grades and all those different types of things. And once again, a lot of tips for success. We talk about the classes and grades and the credits that they're going to need to know about and so forth. So it's pretty detailed, but it's also just, once again, just a primer really for those students to get prepared for high school. We talk about the basics of college, because I don't want to go too deep about that. And then of course they're so young, we don't want to talk too much about careers, but want them just to understand that there is a way that they can identify some different paths that they can take when they're ready to get prepared for their careers. So that's the basics. So we'll take actually a more detailed look at the high school, because I know most of your students are in high school. Starting with having students with a 4-year plan. I always make sure that I let students know how important it is that you're not just taking classes randomly, and that you have a plan for high school. There are different graduation requirements, and there's some study habits that I love about this. So the nice thing about the database that we have is that there are links in here, as you see, lots and lots of links. There are hundreds and hundreds of links. So what I wanted to do was to create somewhat of a roadmap and a narrative. So as you're walking through, I can give you a little bit of information, but then send you to a website that's a real professional on each one of these specific topics. So for instance, this one here, very important. When I talk to students about their study habits, they need to understand that there's a lot of different things that they can do, and they need to know what are they currently doing, which one of these are things that they should do. So they can click it off literally, and it's a downloadable sheet. And then there's some they're just not interested in. And the truth is, some of these won't really fit their learning styles, and we'll talk about that in a second. But they need to understand that there are some specific study habits that we've found that are very effective for them. And if they follow this, then they can really be a lot more successful with all their study habits. We have information on taking notes, and 6 different styles of taking notes is behind this. Everything from doodling and drawing circles things to having things listed with arrows and so forth. but there are really cool different ways of taking notes, and the students can go through and see which one is the best one for them. We also talk about their learning style. This is one of the first things that I learned with my son, is that he didn't really understand, and we weren't teaching him in the best style. So we went through, what is a visual learner? I told him that's like his mom. She's a novel reader. So she buys books and she likes to set the mood right and set the lighting just perfect and have us leave the house and be perfectly quiet and so forth. So she's a visual learner. I'm more of an auditory learner, where I listen to the same book on my iPhone when I'm walking my dogs and things like that. So there's 3 different learning styles. Those are 2 different ones, but most of our students, because of the fact that they've grown up with videos and grown up with websites and cell phones and all those type of things, they're more kinesthetic, meaning that they're very just hands-on, experiential type of learners. And it was really cool when my son saw this. He said, so what you're saying is that I was just not learning in my right style. And I'm like, that's exactly right. So what I did is I found all these videos and all these different websites that I'm showing you. I put them throughout the narrative, but I found all these cool videos and websites. So after he read the book and learned something in class, once I showed him a video on the same thing, everything changed for him. So make sure your students understand what is their learning style, because this is something that they'll need for the rest of their lives, quite frankly, and it'll help them with their grades and also their confidence to know that they're learning in the style that's best for them. Well, something I will say about those study habits, one thing that I always talk to students about is studying with music. And it's, like that's not me. I like the room perfectly quiet when I study. Some people like to have loud music on, and you can give them opportunity to see which one works for them. But I also say when they're studying in groups, which is also something I highly recommend, when they're studying in groups that not have any music, it becomes a sing-along. And so I always caution the students, find out if your learning style is, singing with or being there with music, that's fine. But at the same time, just make sure that you don't do that in a group setting. We talk about the parent engagement levels, and there are several different levels. Our job is to help you go from being a participant that just shows up occasionally to engaged and really truly involved. If you like to be a leader or an ambassador, we can help you with that. Also, we'd love to have you, if you want to reach out to other parents and teach them about the Life Prep Academy, we have the ability to teach you how to do that and share it in your different settings that you go to. So just let me know if you're interested in that. So let's get busy on those A through G requirements, all important A through G requirements. What are they? There are, in a nutshell, 15 classes that the students have to take and pass with a C or better in order for them to graduate to go to the Cal State or the UC. And so if they have not taken those classes and passed them with a C or better, they will not be able to qualify for the Cal State or the UC. And just to let you know that 49% of the students that graduated from the LAUSD, they actually graduated. They've taken enough classes, got enough credits, but 49% of them that graduated in 2018, 2019, I think it was, had not taken all the A through G. So they were not going to be able to go to the Cal State and they actually graduated. So it's very important that you understand how important that is and make sure that your students are on track with that. And I gave you a planner here that you can download where you can keep track of the classes that they're taking to make sure that they're on track. And then more importantly is, so what is a perfect schedule look like to get my student onto the Cal State campus or the UC campus or even on Harvard if they want to get on that campus? And the answer is this metric right here, matrix, I should say. So the thing is, you say that there are 15 classes, but Eric, there's 18 squares or 18 X's on there. Yes, that's because if you really want your student to stand out and to really be at the top of their list, instead of taking those 3 years, take 4 in math, and 3 years instead of 2 in lab science and so forth. So I put that in there to make sure that you understand that the more the students do, the better they do, the more they'll stand out when they're applying for their schools. Concurrent enrollment, one of my best and fun things.
Brother Eric?
Yes, sir.
I just want to make sure I amplify that. The councils are really, in this equity thing, trying to hold the students to 2 years again and 3 years. You got to push back parents and add those extra years. Eric is so right about that. CSU is pushing for the 4 years now anyway, but they could change it by the time you get there. Watch those teachers, watch the schedule. Thank you, Brother Eric.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. Concurrent enrollment, one of the best known secrets, I should say, or best kept secrets. Concurrent enrollment is absolutely wonderful. That's going to take some community colleges while you're in high school. Why would you do that? Well, number one, if you have a student that can take a concurrent class while they're in high school and get a good grade, then you know they have a mastery of those subjects. Number two, the classes are free. Number three, it helps you when they're going to college. Once they take those classes, and these are not, just kind of, Mickey Mouse classes. These are the same classes they would have to take if they got to the CSU or anywhere else. So if they take those classes now, they won't have to take them when they get to the CSU, and you can bypass that completely because they've already taken them. So they don't have to worry about what a lot of students are dealing with, which is the fact that the campuses are impacted, meaning they have kids coming from all over the country and so forth. So they have way more kids coming to the campus than they have space. So if you take those classes and get them out the way, then you don't have to worry about that. So I highly encourage that. And there are a lot of students nowadays that are taking so many concurrent classes all the way from the 10th grade through the 12th grade, that if you take enough of them, you literally can graduate with your associate's degree at the same time that you get your high school diploma. And so that saves you as parents a huge amount of money. So I highly encourage that, those concurrent classes. And once again, that way your student really has a mastery of the subjects. Same thing with Avid. If they have an opportunity to take Avid, I highly encourage them taking the Avid class at their school. Those AP courses are very cool. That's how they get those 4.1s and 2s and 3s and so forth. As a matter of fact, that's a very important thing if your student wants to go to the four-year university, that they take those classes because it helps them stand out. One thing I will say though is that if you have a student that's good in math and English, don't take AP history. Okay, you don't want to take all the AP classes just to take them. Only take the ones that you're good at. I've been told on several occasions, what's better, an A in a normal class or a C in an AP class? And the answer is an A in that normal class, because if you get a C in an AP class, you said that you had a mastery of that subject, but you really don't. So I would highly encourage you, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Amen.
Amen. Yep. So yes, don't take too many, but push your students though, give them, if they're good at something, encourage them to take those classes and stretch themselves. So I highly encourage that. We talk about the difference between weighted and unweighted. Different thing. The unweighted is the basic of, A is 4, B is 3, and so forth. The weighted, you can get extras in some schools like that, where you can get extra grades for taking more and more classes. As a matter of fact, there was a young lady, I always like to show this young lady here, Dara Patel. She took 17 AP classes and also took, classes under concurrent classes, and her weighted GPA turned out to be 10.03. Her little brother was like a 9 point something also, so a very brainiac family. But it's possible. I'm not saying we need necessary students to do that, but if they want to stretch themselves, let them know that there's an example of a young lady who really applied herself and she wanted to make it happen. She did. So I love that. Here it talks about the difference between AP and honors. Also, this one here, very cool. UC Scout. So a lot of schools do not have the AP courses that your students may want to take available to them on those particular campuses. So the UC system knew that was obviously unfair, and so they created this website called Scout, where students can come here and take both A through G and also AP classes. So if you have a student that doesn't score well in one of their classes and they need to take that class over the summer, or they want to take an extra class A through G, they can take it here. Or if they want to take an AP class, they can do the same. They need to speak with their counselor at their school, make sure that the counselor is set up to grade their papers and so forth. But it's a really cool way to make sure that if you have a student that wants to apply themselves or over the summer, take some courses or whatever, that they can take these courses. They're absolutely free, and they're absolutely very cool AP courses and A through G courses that are there for the students. We have a high school a GPA calculator here where you can go and learn about calculating your GPA, and you can put it in, say whether it's weighted or unweighted and so forth. So it's a nice, cool thing. Once again, very interactive for the students. Also, the NCAA. If you have a student that is going to participate in sports in college, it's imperative that they go to this website here because this is where they'll learn all the rules that they have to stay within. We've had students that unfortunately did things that lost them scholarships and got them disqualified and things like that. So they need to go to that NCAA website where they'll know where all the rules are. Then we talk about the entrance exam. You probably heard that the UC and the Cal States are actually going to not be using those exams until 2023, at least I've been told. Is that what you've heard also, Deacon?
Yeah, they're in a political quandary. I think that it will, my personal opinion, based on talking to insiders, is that they may not come back, but you're still looking at the out of town, out of state schools and a couple of schools in California, but mostly out of state, that will then go back to requiring it totally, even from being optional. So we're still doing SAT prep for those. But I think UC and CSU are probably going to be tough for them. UC says they're going to create their own tests, so we'll see.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay, and different pathways here. We're not going to look at all page. I'll just touch on this page. Students with special needs. If you have a student that has a special need that is not a physical special need, they have dyslexia or ADD or something like that, there are departments on each of the California public campuses that are specifically geared at helping those students and making sure that they have all the resources they need. And we have a whole section on special needs, as a matter of fact. This is just the basics, but there's a whole section on that, and they will literally have someone go to class with them, take notes for them, help them with homework and so forth. But it's important that you as a parent make sure that your student gets all the resources that they need and do that as soon as they get on the campus. Don't wait till the end of the year and anything like that, because we had a lot of students that saw their grades going down and then they waited to tell them that they have special needs. So make sure that you speak up right at the beginning. Then on the next few pages, we have a planning calendar, of course, for the freshmen and the sophomores. We have on the next page one for the juniors here. And then we have one for the seniors. One thing I will touch on is on the senior year is very much encouraged, if you can, have your students stay in the dorms for the first couple of years. Many studies show that they do much better than other students, and they assimilate with the school and the campus and so forth. But if you are going to do that, make sure you get your down payment on your dorm room in early, because once again, there's a lot of students competing for those rooms and you don't want to lose out. So make sure you take care of that as early as possible. Okay, in the second section, going on the journey, we start talking about the financial aid and how to get that money for college. Very important, you do that FAFSA. I recommend even for in the 11th grade that the parents go to these, what they call free cash for college workshops. And they are where you can actually learn about how to fill out the FAFSA. They will actually do it for you on the spot if you take all your information there. But even in the 11th grade, even before you're ready to do it, just go and check it out and see what's going on. That way you'll have the knowledge and you'll be ready when the 12th grade and the time comes. But then in 12th grade, once again, starting in October, that's when those Cash for College workshops start. And I highly encourage you to do that as early as possible to make sure that you get as much money as possible that you can have available to you. Then we talk about the federal grants and we talk about the California grants. Well, on this one page here, I will show you on the California grant page that for students that are in foster care, there is the Chaffey foster grant, which is specifically for those foster youth up to $5,000 that they can get per year. I highly encourage you, if you know someone or if your students are in foster care, to go after that because that's great money. I've had a lot of students pay for most of their community college career, as a matter of fact, the entire experience through those Chaffey foster grants. So highly encourage if you know someone that has that need that they go and get that funding. Okay, talking about financial aid and scholarship scams. One thing I could just say is if you have someone asks you to pay them money in order for you to get money, the answer is no. Never, never, never pay money to get money. There are too many scholarships for free. I mean, thousands and thousands. I'll show you where they are. When you're ready to do that, there is a good way to learn about how to write those essays. You can click on both of these as some tips for the students, how to write winning essays and so forth. And these are updated every year, so that's very cool. Then we have the scholarships. And like you see, we have search engines and scholarships for every need and nationality and so forth. So you can go to here, these pages. The cool thing is you can start with the search engines. And these are all the majors. I put them in there. Quite honestly, you don't need to sign up for all of them. You sign up one or two of them and you'll get as many scholarships as you'll ever need. But these two, the three at the top, Big Future, CapEx, and FastWeb are the big ones. If you sign up for them, once again, you could put in, the type of school you want to go to, small or big, or in-state or out-of-state, and so forth, and you'll customize your list that comes to you. If you, as a parent, are a veteran or a disabled veteran, there are two websites, themilitary.com and another one down here called U.S. Veterans Magazine, where you can find scholarships that literally will pay probably most or all of your scholarships, all of the costs for your college. So I highly encourage the students to take a look at that also. Okay, let's see here. We talk about managing your money, and very important because we know that the students, when they get to be 18, the checks don't come to you, mom or dad. They don't come to you guys anymore. They go to the students, and they need to know how to manage that money. So we talk about putting together a monthly budget. We have a budget calculator, which is very cool. I love this, where the students can go in and say, okay, I have X amount of dollars and $3,000 in income, and then they literally tick everything off and show how that money disappears very quickly. And if you want to scare them, show them your budget. Walk through this with them, but it's very cool where they can walk through and see exactly what they're going to need to do to make sure that that money lasts them. Every year, I have parents that call me up and say, hey, can you help me find some scholarships because my son or daughter has spent part of their money on something else or something like that. So they need to know how important it is that they create a budget. Also, a savings plan. We also talk about compound interest, how important that is. Credit cards. I have, once again, I was a financial advisor for many, many years. So people always talk about how credit cards are bad, and the truth is they're not. They are good, but you just need to make sure that your students don't get 5 or 6 credit cards, when they get to college, because when they get there, Capital One is going to come out of the woodworks talking to them every day at the campus. So you need to make sure that they know it's good to have one with maybe a $500 balance or something like that, something that you can help them pay off and they won't get too much in debt. But it's good for them to have it because the car may break down, they need to rent a room, they're going out of town or something like that. It's good to have it, but we have a whole page here that talks about how to be smart. And I always tell them, so, with that credit card, if you borrow $100 and you let it wait a year, you're going to owe 126. And most of the time they don't like that. And so I always talk about how to be credit smart and then how to pay debts down and things like that. So establishing good credit, all the different things that they need as they become young adults and are leaving the house and going on their own. How to find their path, we talk about that. Resources to help them, assist them choose the best college. The best way, hands down, is to visit colleges. Go on as many college visits as you can. Take a look at them, look at the size of the colleges. And and another thing is to ask questions. This is very important. And I encourage you to actually go to this website when you do the college. And the best thing is to send your kid without you. Okay. The truth is that they're going to, probably say things to them that they, won't want to feel comfortable saying in front of you. So let them go up there, give them a few dollars, call up to the campus and say, look, my son or daughter wants to come up there. Can we have a campus tour? They'll match them with a student and let them spend some time. But the cool thing is this page here, it is updated all the time, is a great way for them to understand what are some questions that they need to ask when they're on there. So what I've encouraged some parents to do is to send them on the campus, print this thing out, and discuss which questions you want to make sure that they ask. And then when they come back, it's kind of, have them report back to you with the answers. And that's a good way to make sure that they've got the answers and they feel comfortable out the campus. But it's a great thing to, make sure that they choose the right campus. Because we've had even students, a lot of times, I actually heard about a young lady that, all of her family had gone to UCLA. And so she wanted to go to UCLA, but she was a very shy student that really was much more comfortable on a smaller campus. So when she got there, she wasn't happy, but she transferred to LMU and, she was perfectly happy. So with the smaller campus, Christian campus and so forth. So I think Catholic, but it's definitely a religious campus. But yeah, it's, a great way for them to really get comfortable with their choice of the campus that they're going to. So we have tips for getting into college. Here we have the 3 different public colleges here, Cal State, the UC system, and the community colleges. The cost here, about $35,000 for the UC, $18 to $22 for the Cal State, and then we have $46 a unit for the community colleges. In many cases, I will say, if your student has no idea what they want to do in college and what they want to do, and they're really trying to fill things out, and that's a lot of. Okay, if you want to, if you have students that really aren't sure exactly what they want to do, it may make sense for them to go through the transfer process of going through the community colleges first, because the cost is so small. I mean, you could do 2 years and get your degree for $2,000 or $4,000, maybe a little bit more than that. But it's a lot less than having to go that route and then transfer over to the Cal State. So that's an option for the students if they want to do that, if they really don't know what they want to do. The U.S. News rankings are here. So if you want to go to the most elite ranking, colleges, we have that option for you. The Common App, which is very cool. So your students can use the Common App, and what you do on that is you fill out an application basically, and that application can go to over 900 different colleges. So you don't have to send the same one. You still have to pay a fee for each, but it can go to several different colleges without you having to redo the application. So that's a very cool service that's available. We have the HBC. We have the HBCUs. We have Hispanic colleges, Jesuit colleges, tribal colleges. So there's lots and lots of options out there for the students. So with the community college system here, we'll just take a look at a couple of quick things here. They have a new program called the Bachelor's Degree Program. So on 15 campuses, they decided that if you are going to study something specifically, and you know that that's what you're going to study, that you can go to the community colleges and get both your AA and your bachelor's degree. So, but the West LA, like I said, they're doing it in dental hygiene. Solano does biomanufacturing. Each campus only has one thing that they'll do it in, but that's a great way for students to avoid the impacting of the different colleges by staying right there on the community college and maybe local and maybe convenient for them. But once again, these 15 colleges, they only do one thing or offer one class or BA, one type of subject, I should say. Let's see here. If you are going to go through the transfer process, you definitely need to take these two different websites here. The first one is a degree with a guarantee, the AAT and the AST. That makes it really perfect for the students who are going to transfer, so you know that you'll be on track. The assist website is where the students will actually work with the community college. They all use it. What they'll do is that they literally go to this web page and they'll set it up saying that my student wants to start at this school and at El Camino, and then go to Cal State Long Beach, and they'll show them every class they need to take to make sure that they're on track to be on to make sure that they know that all the classes that they're taking will transfer properly over to the school that they want to go to. So perfect way to do that. Then we have the Cal State system and lots of information on that, the early start program, EAP, and all the different information here, the actual campuses themselves, 23 beautiful campuses. We talk about how to make sure that they're eligible for the different campuses here. We talk about the UC system, if that was your option, and those personal insight questions, very cool. If you're going to be going to the UC system, you want to go to this website to learn about those personal insight questions. What they basically want to do is that they have 8 questions that they choose from. They have to choose 4 of them and write a 350-word essay, if you will, on those 4 questions and submit those. They want to know what makes you special. Why are you going, and how will you really impact our campus? What will you add to our campus? Deacon, did you have a question? Oh, okay. Yeah, how are you going to really impact the campus and be a value to our campus? That's what they want to hear from you, and what makes you special and so forth. So it's very cool to say that. That's also where those the extracurricular activities come in. If you want to know what makes students stand out, and I've asked several different campuses about that. If you have 4.2 or 4.3 students and they have an equal background and they're both good kids, how do you choose which one over the other? And all the time, 100% of the time, the answer is how much of extracurricular activities they have. And the reason for that is that they want students to not burn out. They want students to join the government team or be on the debate team or do whatever. And so they love when the students in high school were on the debate team. They played a sport, they played an instrument, they volunteered at the church, and they volunteered at the homeless shelter every year and gave away things. They love to hear those types of things, and make sure that you get a letter saying thank you so you can add that into your transcripts. But make sure you understand that they are required for 50 hours. But if you come in with 55 hours, as opposed to that student with 150 hours, clearly they're going to go for that student that seems that they're more engaged. So that's one thing to understand. And they want to hear those types of things on those insight questions also. So the eligibility calculators, and we'll just go through here. So there's California independent colleges that are available, out-of-state colleges. One thing that's very cool is this Western Undergraduate Exchange. The Western Undergraduate Exchange basically is a way for students that want to stay not too far from California. So what they did is they said they made a deal with 15 of the Western states and said, if your student wants to go to these Western states, and as opposed to having out-of-state tuition be double what it normally would be, it would only be 1.5 times what it normally would be, okay? So the cost of University of Montana or something like that may be somewhere similar to the Cal States, and a little bit less than the CSU or the UC, but you can definitely have that an option, especially for students that are looking to go out of state, so they can look at those different schools. And I believe the Deacon has helped some students get on those campuses too. Is that correct, Deacon?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. We have a couple of schools we really like. Some of them will be visiting here on a couple of Thursday nights from now too. So we very much are pushing a lot of the Western state schools. I'd love to hear that. And it can be cheaper to CSU a lot, by the way, sometimes, by the way.
Yes. And so great option for your students. And once again, it's there to, short plane ride away from them and give them a chance to be a little more independent while they're out there. But lots and lots of independent colleges out there available. Studying abroad, there are the options. There's military academies if your student wants to go into the military. Here's some options also for students that are going to directly from school into the work world. So, and this was my son, so I wanted to make sure that we had some options. And there's apprenticeships that are really real cool programs. There's a great website that's called Cal Apprenticeship, and you can learn about all the different apprenticeship type of programs that are available for the students. They literally can click on one of these and find out where they can take classes and what kind of requirements there are and all those different types of things. So the students know that there are options for them if they want to go directly from school into the work world. Also, if they want to become an entrepreneur, this is one of our newer programs. A good friend of mine who's a very wealthy investor wanted to help students learn about how to build an entrepreneurial mind. So he created this website called the Dream Toolbox. This is him. His name is Ken Aldridge. But very, very cool. They have 21 videos. Okay, they're short 5-minute videos, 4 or 5-minute videos, but it goes through how to build an entrepreneur, how to create your dream, believe in your dream, and how to create skills and how money works and things like that. But there's 21 really, really cool videos on here. And this is absolutely free for the student. You can go directly to this website also. It's called dreamtoolbox.com, but it's a great way for students that want to be entrepreneurs, learn how to build an entrepreneurial mind. Then we have a website on career and technical schools, and this is a really cool one on, what's the difference between vocational and trade and technical schools. Then down at the bottom, all their options here. So if they're thinking about computer technology, they can just click on here and learn about, what are the different options that they have available for them. So, especially computer science nowadays, make a lot of money and the job growth rate, especially in California, is huge, especially if you want to do computer science. So that's a great option for them. All these technical schools are listed and they can look through and see which one makes sense for them. The U.S. military, if they want that option, we have that for them. ROP schools and different things like that. Also the Americorps, which is cool. What they'll do is Americorps, after your high school, you can go there and take a year. They will actually pay you $6,200 if you give them a year, and that can go towards tuition or, help them with their tuition. So that's a nice option for students if they want to take a gap year or something like that. We also talk about career planning. We talk about tools for your first job and resume writing, how to prepare for your interview. And we're going to speed up and go a little bit faster. Your rights as an employee. So, and that's very important, especially when they get to the point when they're 16, 17 years and they're going to be getting their first job. They need to know what their rights are as an employee. Oh, then also how important it is to learn about diet and exercise and sleep when they actually get into college. So we have a whole page here that talks about that. Also understanding how important it is for them to know about their mental health. And the California Youth Crisis Line is a good a client of ours and one of our partners. So we have a link here. So if they ever need to talk to someone, they can go there. It's 100% anonymous and they can talk to someone about anything that they want to. So it's very cool. We have those tips about healthy living with at the top. We talk about tips for young women. And there's tips at the bottom for young men. Texting and driving are very important for them to understand how important it is not to do that. And also State Farm has a program here where the students can track their hours that they need to track in order to get their driver's licenses when they're ready to get their driver's license. So all free, wonderful website that they can use from State Farm to get their driver's license. Then internet safety. Something I just showed very quickly is that there are tips for helping your students stay safe online. One of the things I like to show is on the acronyms that students are using nowadays. So these are the codes. These are the codes they're using on their phones and things, okay? So you might want to take a look at your kids' phones real quickly to make sure that they're not using some of these codes. But yeah, it's good for you to know what they are. But
KPC is my favorite. KPC.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I found out about that one this summer.
Okay, there you go. So you need to know about those, okay, and make sure that your kids are safe online. Let's see here. Also, smart surfing. We have a thing about cyberbullying and how to deal with that and how to spot that. And also it's very cool to teach students about that so that they know how to help their friends. So that's something very important there about cyberbullying. And we added a new section about diversity, equity, and inclusion. The students are going to be hearing a lot about that. So I want them to understand exactly what does that mean so that they can be prepared, what kind of competencies that they need to have, and so forth. So we have some charts and some graphics that show them what we're really talking about, and also how to develop strong social skills. They need to understand that once they get into college, they're going to be out on their own. So that's important for them to develop those social skills. So here's a little hello from our sponsor, the Cal State system. And let me take you back now to the dashboard. So we looked through the first 4 of these right here. We'll take a quick look at the homework help sites. So when I do my presentations, I normally have a chance to show a lot of these help sites, and I go individually through each one of these. We have K through 8, language arts, math, and so forth. And I go through each one of them and choose them as I'm scrolling through. But as I do that, typically at the end, people are trying to remember which ones I have. So I put them on the front page with my 25 favorites. So I'll just show you a couple of the ones, and each of these are all listed under the different topics. So one very cool in the language arts is this A+ research and writing. This website I put on here because what I hear from a lot of the admissions people is that the students' writing skills are not at the level that they need to be. So what the students can go do here is learn how to write a college level research paper. And it literally gives them 6 steps so that they can walk through here and make sure that they are keeping on track and they know how to write a college level research paper. So very, very important on that. And we have for the younger kids, Big Cats and Age Calculators, Bill Nye the Science Guide. One of my favorite career websites so the students can learn about careers is this one here called the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, where literally I had a student one day and she said she wanted to be a doctor. So I said, okay, let me show you that. And as I was scrolling through, I accidentally clicked on pharmacist. I was scrolling down to doctor. And it was kind of cute. It was a very shy student in the class. And when I did that, I said, oh, I'm sorry, I went to the wrong one. She said, oh, wait a minute, that says $128,000. I said, yeah, sure it does. And so she literally at that day said, I didn't really want to be a doctor, but I have a family. I come from a family of doctors. Man, I can get the same kind of degree and make the same kind of money, and I don't have to worry about cutting on people and things like that. And so the whole class erupted in laughter, but she literally said, I changed my mind. I really want to do this. So it's cool. The student can come here and look through different types of things, and they can choose, what do you like to do? And then see what kind of careers fit that type of thing that they like to do. And it tells them, what do they do? What kind of environment, what kind of the pay that there is going on and so forth. So a very helpful site to learn about careers. But we have parents' rights on here. We have College Source where you can download catalogs, great women in history, the history of money, and all kind of different things. Like I said, hopefully we're going to get you a membership where you can see this, and I'll tell you how you can get your membership. Plagiarism, a tutorial, puzzles, read print. This is very cool. If you have a student that loves to read, they literally can download 2,000 of the classic books for free on this one website. They should go to the website, type in the book that they want, and they can download the entire book or read it there on the screen. It's very cool, absolutely free. There's an exchange. Also, if your student wants to be a writer, the OWL, the Purdue Writing Lab, the best possible resource for any student that wants to be a writer is on this website right there. So those are the homework help sites. We already took a look at the scholarships, and I'll just touch on this very quickly. On the foster homeless and all the rest of those, each one of them starts off with, what are your rights as a foster or homeless or probation youth? We actually have 2 pages on that. Then we show the different resources on each of the campuses. For each one of those groups, they have clubs or groups where the students get together. So like the Guardian Scholars is for the foster care students on the Bakersfield campus. So they can just go to the campus and scroll through and choose which one. And on this page, they can, shop through and see which ones they want to look at and so forth. It makes it nice and convenient for them. And then it goes to more resources, Chaffey grant, the resources like the ombudsman and so forth, and some numbers that are important numbers to have available to them. But once again, in this section, for each one of those sections here, foster, homeless, probation, immigrants, and special needs, we go through every one of what are your rights, here are your resources, here are the college programs that you can use, and then how to advocate for yourself and those types of things. And typically when we have our program, we are able to do surveys. Unfortunately, we are not in person and we weren't set to do that right now, but we actually have surveys where I can judge that, that all the information I've given you makes sense and that it's, working out for you and so forth, and that you're actually learning something today. But that is the Life Prep Academy. I'll just tell you.
So they avoided the final exam, huh?
I'm sorry?
They avoided your final exam.
Yeah, they avoided my exam this time. Exactly right.
All right.
So I'll show you here on the front page that at the bottom of the page, if you want to purchase this for yourself, I believe that the CSU, what we're doing is for all of the students, the CSU students that are going through the Algebra Institute, they are going to receive a membership. It is a one-year membership. If you want to increase that after the year, then you can just let me know, or you can go and create one for yourself. But for parents, it's only $11.95. Okay, so if you want to get one for the family, it's only $11.95 per year, and literally $1 per month. So I highly encourage you to get used to it and maybe get it for a year or two, especially in this the important years, or maybe even get a 4-year membership where you can do that. If you want to do that, you could just let me know. But if you want to do that, or if you know a school or school district that needs help with that, other nonprofit organizations that you may know of, it's very inexpensive for the students and for them. We keep it really nice and inexpensive for the students to make sure that they can have access, especially in the low and middle income communities. But that is it for
All right.
For the Life Prep Academy.
Well, Eric, we really appreciate that. Let's see if any parents, if you have any questions or comments, or you're certainly welcome to raise your hand. I'll open your mic up and we'll get you on here. Really appreciate that. If you would, any of you, we will be, for those who are in summer algebra. I know Nicole mentioned it. She'll be sending you information. Actually, it'll first come out at the, we're having a culmination ceremony on this Sunday online. Many of you have signed up and have a great attendance. That's when you'll officially hear about it. Then the week after, we'll send out information on it as well. Parents who are here, those students of yours who still have access to their Ed Ready, the students that get the most hours on their Ed Ready program, we'll have something special for them that day. And every student who comes will receive some gifts from CSU and some rewards. It's a big serve. That's this Sunday at 3. Click on the link we sent you in RSVP. Are there any questions for Eric? This is a very valuable resource. I think you should have it around, get in there. We've used it in Homework Club. We registered a couple of years for it and help students get ideas for their assignments. It's terrific. And there's a lot of information that will help you in parallel very well. If you have an 11th or 12th grader I'm working with, you'll see things on there. We actually have some of the same info, but he's got it really nicely arranged. Then finally, notice the scholarships. We had students that went to some of his scholarship suggestions on there, and in fact got scholarships. I just had a student in San Diego grab a couple of scholarship from a couple of those groups. So please be aware of that. Are any questions out there? Just raise your hand.
Hey, Deacon, I wanted to mention to you, the 29th, we're going to have the back to school meeting.
Okay, that's right. Go ahead.
So back to school meeting with the EEP will be on the 29th at 5:30 p.m. Parents. Visit our website. You'll get more information there, and there will be a link. If it's not yet posted, give us a couple of days. It should be on the website by this weekend, and then you can register to make sure you get that Zoom link from us.
Yeah, that's a really important meeting. I'm going to say a lot more about that leading up to it. You go to www, put it in the chat, westa-eep.org, and click on new events. If you scroll, put your cursor along the top, click on new events, scroll all the way to the bottom. Every event we're ever going to have in the future is there. We have a whole bunch lined up. And one of them is, in fact, that back to school night. I think they did set up a link there. I think I saw that. All right, so start thinking about that now, parents. We'll have a chance for people to get premium sign up for our virtual homework club and for other activities we have upcoming. So I want to thank Eric a lot.
Actually, we have a hand raised by Sherry Cox. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, Sherry, let me let her on. I want to let Sister Sherry speak right up.
Okay, thank you. I really enjoyed your presentation, Mr. Moore, and I'm really interested in getting a subscription, I guess you would call it. So do we just go to the lifeprepacademy.org to do this? I have a rising senior and a rising sophomore in college, but I think the information that you have here, yes, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. I thought about her. Yeah, you should get that subscription because you're not in summer algebra. And I think they would benefit from that. Definitely tell Kylie about it.
Yeah, I plan to do that, yes.
Yep, just go onto the homepage right there. And yes, you can, at the bottom, you can click on that and start your membership right away.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, Miss Sandra.
Oh, Miss Sandra Argarana, yes. Hold on, I gotta find her. I have the wrong view. Hold on, Sister Sandra, I'll get you. I have the wrong view here. I'll have you in a minute, Sister Sandra. Trust me now. All right, go ahead, Sister Sandra. I had to promote her to panelists to do it. You can speak out, Sister Sandra. Oh, turn on your mic. Open your mic up. You're muted. Sister Sandra, you're muted. There you go. Now go ahead.
Okay. Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Moore. I'm also interested in getting more information about all that he presented today.
Yeah.
So
same thing.
So we go. So what the website do we just go to live? How do we just access?
I'll put it into that. So you can have the exact website. You can copy.
Yeah, let me close that. Go ahead and tell her now.
Okay. There we go. I'm gonna type it into the chat box so that you can actually just click on that in your chat box and copy that and paste that into your browser.
Or just email Christina right away and she'll send you the link to it. I'm sure she's very familiar with it.
Or once again, you can go to the Google also.
Just Google it. Yeah, right. Google it.
Life Prep Academy. Life Prep Academy. That's all you have to type into Google, Life Prep Academy. But the site is lifeprepacademy.org. But yeah, go to Google. That's probably the quickest and the easiest way. Just go to Google.
That's right.
Yeah, just Google on.
Yeah, that would benefit greatly your college student, particularly the career section. And I think it would benefit your young athlete and your young student athlete. I think that's what I want to say there.
Yeah.
All right.
I think Dawn has her hand up. Dawn Smith.
Dawn Smith. Oh yeah, my buddy Dawn. Hold on, Sister Dawn.
I already gave her permission, Deacon.
Okay, go ahead. Speak right up. Thank you, Christina.
Okay. Yes, it's something I'm also interested in for Garen.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, even though Garen theoretically was not on the roll, yeah, just go to the site, and I think you can get that from the site too. Okay.
Okay.
All right, and let me know if you have trouble with that. By the way, okay, we're gonna buy a few ourselves. Eric doesn't know that.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, great. Yeah, that would really help you in planning for Garen. Is he still going to Larchmont this year?
Yes, he's still at Larchmont.
Yeah.
He just doesn't like the online schooling.
I understand.
So he's been going in some days during the summer. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I understand. Remember I said about the 50%?
Yes, because
I totally get that.
he didn't even want to do summer school. If it's going to be online, he's like, I'm not interested in going to the homework club. So
we agreed not to push it, both of us. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, well, that should help. And then I guess they'll be in person at Larchmont this year, I'm hoping.
Yes, it will be in person at Larchmont, and they would have online also.
Okay.
Actually, there was one other quick thing I wanted to let parents know about. Let me share one quick thing. We also, I'm disabled as the host. But here. Yeah, we, in addition to this orientation, we have actual training sessions that, there we go. Okay.
You put it up.
There we go. Perfect.
Sorry about that.
So here, for schools and groups, we have a whole dashboard where we are able to keep track of the students and so forth. But just to show you, these are all the different sessions that we teach. So we have the basic Life Prep Academy orientation. That's what you guys did today, maybe a little bit shorter than 60-minute. But we also have a program where we have deep dives into each one of those topics.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Take about like an hour. And we talk about those things. So we'll literally talk about pages 2 and 3 for an hour, and go deep dive into it, have students fill things out and so forth. So if you're interested in going through this, let me know, because we can set it up through the church where we can have a program where the students can literally go through the entire curriculum, and we could do it over the course of a 3 or 6 month or
Oh
something.
yeah, you mentioned that to me. We're gonna look at that.
Okay.
Yep. Christina put that on my plate. I think you did once, and I said, "Let's have this first."
Right, okay.
Great. Okay. All right. Thank you, Sister Dawn, and thank you all. And again, thank you to Brother Eric. Michelle Lewis will be in touch with you tomorrow with a little clarification and take care of a little something we like to take care of, whether you want us to or not. You can't say no.
Never say no.
I think I warned you. So
Yes, you did.
she's going to want us to get the information and do that. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. So thank you all for coming. We really appreciate it. Let's see, Victoria and Christina, hang on. And God bless you. We'll see you soon. Okay. Bye-bye now.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye, Brother Eric. We'll be talking, man.
Deacon, before you go, this is Sherry. Okay.
Hey, I know.
So you want me to send you a time or two for this Saturday, right?
Two times on Saturday. Yeah. That's
Okay.
I'm thinking it's tomorrow, but it's 2 days from now. Let me help you further with that. From 2 to 3:30, I'm teaching SAT. Other than that, give me something to do on board.
Okay. Are you an early riser?
Yes.
Like a 9 o'clock?
I'm so boring. I get up about 7:30 on Saturdays, have a little breakfast at my 2 favorite breakfast places. I'm back home by 9:15.
Okay.
So I feel like you have the whole day except for 2 to 3:30. I'm teaching SAT.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I don't have any meetings on there. That's kind of strange on a Saturday. It's late in the year, but it's all set up for you.
All right. I'll
right.
I'll text it to you.
Yeah, you can do that. You can use my text on my phone. That's always
Okay.
good. You know.
Okay. I'll do that. Thank you so much.
I'll pick one of the times and send you a link, etc.
Okay. Will do. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
And Christina, she'll be
Thank you, Deacon.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're very welcome.
So, Deacon, did you get a chance to finish looking into my stuff?
I did her paperwork first. I'll be doing yours next because the loan site was down for maintenance all day yesterday.
Okay.
Site, I think it's going to be back up tomorrow. Though. It was down all day yesterday and part of the day. I couldn't keep checking. But when it does that, it's down about 48 hours.
Okay. But the whole process takes about how long? That's after you're done. How long will I?
It takes. Let me turn my speaker down. It takes 21 seconds to find out whether the loan's approved. Once it's approved, it just the school will find out within 4 days.
Okay.
It's really quick.
Okay.
They'll know about the approval immediately. Then the funding is available in 4 days. But they can't post it till your daughter starts school. But they'll tell you they have it.
Okay. So probably by the end of next week, we should know.
I think you'll know the status. I'll tell you right away where we are on the loan, and then you'll know how many days after that.
Okay.
It's not very hard at all. It's pretty quick. So that's why I'm not worried about it being late. But see, she's a UC, and they don't start till like after September 10th, I think.
Yes.
We're still a little ways away from the start, whereas other schools are starting in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Right? UCs and Seattle Pacific start later because they're quarterly schools.
Okay.
I think that school is still quarterly.
Yes, yeah.
So there's only 3 UCs that are, and that's one of them.
Okay. So for her, she should, the ones you asked her to go ahead and accept, right?
I've already gone through that. She'll start seeing emails in a day or two. But it was nothing to that. I just did it all for her. I did her promissory note and her student, what do you call that? There's a student thing that form they have to do. I did it all for her online.
You did that all for her. She doesn't need to do anything?
She won't need to do nothing.
Oh, and I was asking her to.
Because that part of the site was up. It's just the parent loan part was down.
Okay.
For maintenance. Some kind of maintenance. I don't know.
Okay. Thank you so much, Deacon.
You're welcome so much.
Okay, bye.
Hey,
Bye.
wait a minute. Was that? What kind of meat was that you gave me? It was good.
Goat meat.
What was it, like beef?
No, it's goat meat. You know goat meat?
Goat, that's right. Yeah, you told me. I'm so dumb. That's right. Well, it was delicious.
And then there's a lot of dry fish.
Yes, I tasted that. Boy, it was good. The taste is good. All right.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, Deacon.
Bye-bye now. Sorry to make you jealous, Christina. You can open your mic up. She gave me food, Christina.
Oh my God, that's what I was saying. I was like, no, she did not bring you food. Oh, you want to stop recording,
Deacon? She did. I didn't share none of it with none of y'all.
You want to stop recording?
Oh, that's right. I got to